What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, and coming at you again with another video related to the events of last night. And LeBron's legion of deplorables are out in full effect today. All right, this is their moment. This is their day, and this is what I have to add into addition to what I said in my other video. I looked at the moment. It was December 2014 when Kobe passed Michael Jordan on the all-time scoring list. It was a game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, a game that they won, by the way. And I could see subtle differences. First of all, the respect that I saw from his teammates and the opposing players in congratulating Kobe was far higher than what I saw with LeBron. Kobe was shooting free throws. He passed it. He tied him with a free throw, then he passed him with the next free throw. And timeout was called. And he got the game ball, and he did wave and acknowledge the cheers. But his celebration was a lot more subdued, okay, than LeBron James. And the love that he received from everybody else was far greater. And that's just what the situation is. LeBron is full of self-love. And his legion of miserables, uh, they love the guy. But you can't fool the masses, okay? No matter how much ESPN and all these other networks try to fool us, you can't fool the real ones. And I also got to say something else, too. I strongly suspect, really I know, that Kobe Bryant wouldn't put passing an individual on an all-time scoring list up there with winning championships and MVPs. That's the problem with LeBron James. It was a remarkable accomplishment, which is, based on Kobe Bryant's longevity and work ethic and will. But to put it up there with NBA championships and MVPs, or really championships, is absurd. If I hadn't said the Lakers won that game, by the way. But I was just, this is more of a reaction video to everything. I was reading the comment sections, man, and I saw a LeBron fan say something that's just typical of his fan base, LeBron's extreme fan base. He said, well, look, man, the guy's won, the guy's been to 8 straight NBA finals. I mean, maybe it was just time for a break for the guy. What type of mentality is that? Do you think Michael Jordan would say, man, um, I've been to 8 straight NBA finals. Uh, I don't think I can handle a knife. Even though I've lost 6 of them, 9 overall, I think it's time for a break for me from the game, from competing. I mean, trying to compete for a championship is hard. I want to go to a team, Chicago Bulls, great organization, but I like to go to this new organization that's opened up, the Vancouver Grizzlies, and maybe take a break there. Only win 25, 35 games, and focus on my stats. See y'all, bye. But Michael, why? I know y'all guys could say, well, didn't Michael retire 3 times? Yeah, but it had nothing to do with chasing championships. I mean, my goodness, man. I'm floored. I cannot believe that I once had that man number 4 on my all time list, man. I'm telling you, I'm getting to a point, man. I'm losing so much respect for LeBron James, man, as a player. I don't want to do it emotionally. I've already put him on my top 10. I'm even thinking about swapping him with Moses, man. Moses Malone. You know, before LeBron James, Moses Malone was considered the greatest prep to pro player in NBA history. Well, pro basketball history. My list is different too, by the way. I include ABA as well as NBA. So when you include ABA and NBA, Moses Malone played 21 seasons, scored over 29,000 points, had, I believe, close to 17,000 rebounds. You know, I believe he won a championship with the. I might be wrong with this one, but did he win a championship with the Utah Stars? I can't remember. But Moses was a tremendous player, man, and you didn't have to question Moses' heart or what his determinations were or his motivations. I mean, it's absolutely, oh my God, man. I was floored when this guy said that he put this accomplishment right up there with championships and MVPs. One of my subscribers sent me a link to an old interview from Michael Jordan. I think John Thompson, excuse me, was interviewing him. From looking at Jordan, it looked like it might have been from the '98 season. And John Thompson was asking about statistics. And Michael Jordan said something that is so relevant now. He said statistics never drove him. He said if he was concerned about stats, he would have never retired in '93. Never retired. He said stats are, from years from now, stats are kind of important if you want to look at players from from the past and kind of gauge where they were as a player to an extent. But he said what always motivated him was winning games and championships. Both of these guys were primarily interested in winning games and championships. Now, I was critical on Kobe to an extent with some things. Like I did notice sometimes that Kobe, if say it was 5 minutes left on the game and he had 46, I could tell that Kobe sometimes would try to go for 50. He would do that. Whereas Jordan kind of really didn't care. If it happened, it happened. If not, it not. If it was meant for him to score 50, it was meant to. I did notice that with Kobe. You know, um, but LeBron James takes it to an entire different level. Like he pre-plans these things. His whole game is predicated on stat padding. That's why these assists and all this shit, it don't impress me because I know that he stat pads. The one year when Michael Jordan was dominating the ball like that, to that extent, and I guess you could say he was stat padding the 88-89 season, Michael Jordan averaged 32.6 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists per game. So if Michael Jordan was to play point guard, if he was to do that for his entire career, you don't think his statistics would have been better if he was only focused on his numbers? Because Michael was kind of stat padding at that time because he wanted to prove this was before the championship mode, Jordan. And he kind of wanted to prove that he could do with Magic and Larry and all these guys what he was all around player. And he kind of was chasing triple doubles. But he got out of that. He went back to his shooting guard position. Phil Jackson eventually became the head coach. Jordan learned how to play off the ball more, and Michael Jordan's game and mentality was changed forever. He was no longer just solely, concerned about statistical achievement. He was more motivated by championships. When he came out of retirement in '95, he was solely concerned about championships. Because I was a kid that was a Bulls fan, and I can't tell you how many games I used to get irritated because I thought he could have won for 50 far more often than he did. He had 31 career regular season 50-point games and 8 in the playoffs. If he had the LeBron James mentality, he would have had twice as many 50-point games in the regular season. Believe me, twice as many. He had 10 career 49-point games. He had almost 30 career games between 47 and 49 points. So, like I said, he could have had nearly twice as many 50-point games, maybe even more than that. But you know what would have happened if he played like LeBron James? Instead of winning 6 NBA championships, he probably would have only won 3. They might have still won in 91 and 92. I doubt they would have won in 93 if he was playing stat ball. They probably would have won in 96, but they probably would have won in 97 and 98 if he was only concerned about padding his numbers. And I get irritated at people saying shit like, well, like Nick Wright saying, he bringing up stats and how he's passed, Jordan and all these numbers, even though they don't play the same fucking position. But if you bring up this argument, he don't have anything to say about it. Well, what about John Stockton? John Stockton is miles ahead of Magic Johnson in steals. He's miles ahead of Magic Johnson in assists. And he's a point guard, right? He's a point guard, right? So what makes Magic better? If he's ahead of him in these categories that, point guards usually are dominating, he's a better three-point shooter than Magic. You always talk about threes. He's a far better three-point shooter than Magic, a better shooter. What you'll say is Magic has more championships, right? Magic went to the finals far more times. But when we say, well, yeah, but Jordan is 6-0 in the finals, and then also stop saying this shit about how LeBron's not really a scorer, okay? I'm so sick of that fucking argument. Yeah, he's not the polished, scorer with the plethora of moves like a Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or George Gervin. Okay, no, but he's a scorer. In fact, he averages more shot attempts per game for his career than Kevin Durant. So stop with this shit about he's not a scorer. He's a scorer who pads his numbers. And it's a damn shame the Lakers are 30 and 35, and his fanboys and apologists are switching the narrative to individual statistics because that's all they can talk about are the stats. Stats don't win championships.